Imagine a time when high-tech in homes meant an icebox for food or a small elevator for moving dishes. Homes used to have all kinds of clever features that you rarely see now. Join us as we remember how people used to live. Picture rails were once a brilliant little touch found in many 19th century homes. Imagine a thin strip of molding running along the top of your walls, perfect for hanging pictures without a single nail in sight. They let homeowners change the art on the wall more frequently, all while keeping those delicate plaster walls intact. In those days, plaster walls were easy to damage, and picture rails offered a smart, damage-free way to add personal style. Plus, they looked fancy. Having this extra molding added a certain charm, a subtle elegance, making rooms feel a bit more refined. But over time, picture rails started to disappear. Why? The answer: modern walls are sturdier, and we now have so many other ways to hang artwork. From sticky hooks to sturdy nails, it's just easier. So while picture rails may be a rare sight now, they remind us of a time when decorating was all about preserving both beauty and practicality. Dumbwaiters were like tiny elevators for things, not people. Picture a little cabinet on the wall that could carry food, laundry, or anything heavy up and down between floors. In big houses or older buildings, they made life way easier, letting people move items without hauling them upstairs. Originally, dumbwaiters were operated with ropes and pulleys. You'd just tug on a rope and up or down it would go. Later, some models became motorized, making them even handier. They were common in multi-story homes, especially where a full kitchen was on the ground floor and dining rooms were upstairs. But eventually, dumbwaiters fell out of style. As homes got smaller and more efficient, people couldn't justify the cost or space they took up. Now, they're mostly a quirky memory or a rare treat in older homes, reminding us of a time when even the simplest things had a touch of elegance. Milk doors were once a smart and simple part of many kitchens. Imagine a tiny, two-way door built right into the wall near the back door or in the kitchen. Each morning, the milkman would place bottles of fresh milk on the outside shelf, and the family could open the inside of the door to grab it without even going outside. This setup was perfect for a time when there weren't refrigerators or big grocery stores. Fresh milk was delivered every day, so the milk door made things super easy and kept the bottles safe from animals or curious neighbors. It was a clever solution to a daily need. As home refrigerators became common and supermarkets made milk available anytime, milk doors started to disappear. There was just no need for them anymore. Now, they're a charming reminder of a time when the milkman's visit was part of the daily routine, bringing a bit of convenience and simplicity to every morning. Knob and tube wiring was one of the first ways to bring electricity into homes. Thin copper wires ran through small ceramic tubes and wrapped around porcelain knobs to keep them steady. From the 1880s to the 1930s, this was the go-to setup for wiring in homes. Back then, knob and tube was affordable and did the job well enough. But as time went on, issues started to arise. The wiring didn't have grounding, an important safety feature we have today, and the insulation could wear down, especially as people began using more electric devices. This could lead to overheating and other risks. By the mid-1900s, newer, safer wiring methods replaced knob and tube. Modern wiring has grounding and better insulation, making it much more reliable. While knob and tube is now mostly obsolete, you might still spot it in old homes, giving a peek into the early days of home electricity. Coal chutes were a common feature in many Victorian homes, especially in the basements. Picture a metal chute that ran from outside the house directly into a room where coal was stored. When a coal truck arrived, it would dump the fuel right into the chute, making it super easy to keep the furnace filled. Before electricity was widely used, coal was the primary heating source for homes. These chutes made it much cleaner and simpler for families. Instead of carrying heavy bags of coal through the house, they could just let the truck fill up the chute and it would go straight to where it was needed. But as electricity and gas heating became more popular, coal chutes began to fade away. Homes didn't need them anymore, so they became a part of history. Today, if you find one, it's a fun reminder of how people used to keep warm in a very different time. Washstands and basins were important in homes before indoor plumbing became common. Picture a small table holding a water pitcher and a basin. Every morning and before bed, family members would use the basin to wash their hands and faces, making it a vital part of their daily routine. These washstands were often made from beautiful woods like mahogany, adding a touch of elegance to bedrooms and bathrooms. They were not just practical, they also added charm to the home. But as indoor plumbing became more popular, washstands started to fade away. Modern sinks made washing up much easier and cleaner, leaving washstands to become decorative antiques or simply disappear. Today, if you spot a vintage washstand, it's a lovely reminder of a time when simple routines were done a bit differently, showcasing how far home comfort has come. Screened-in porches were once a favorite feature in many homes. They provided a cozy space to enjoy the outdoors without worrying about bugs. Picture a relaxing area surrounded by mesh screens, letting in fresh air while keeping out pesky mosquitoes. These porches were perfect for sipping lemonade or reading a book on warm days. They became popular in the late 1800s when families wanted to enjoy the outdoors comfortably. They were common in warmer areas, serving as a bug-free space for meals and gatherings. However, as homes changed, many people started to prefer fully enclosed rooms or outdoor patios. With the rise of air conditioning, screened-in porches faded away. While they're not as common today, they remind us of the simple joys of enjoying nature at home. The parlor room was once the shining star of many homes, known as the best room. This was the place to impress special guests and celebrate important family events. People filled parlors with beautiful furniture, art, and treasured family heirlooms, making them a symbol of social status. In the 18th and 19th centuries, parlors served as gathering spots for everything from weddings to funerals. Families would host guests here, showing off their finest possessions and enjoying good company. It was a place of elegance and connection. But as times changed, so did our living spaces. With the rise of televisions and a more casual lifestyle, the formal parlor gradually transformed into the living room we know today. Now, the parlor is mostly a thing of the past, but it reminds us of a time when homes had a special place dedicated to elegance and hospitality. Transom windows are those small windows that sit above doors, often found in older homes. They're usually operable, which means you could open them to let in fresh air while still keeping your privacy intact. Before air conditioning became common, transoms played a key role in keeping homes cool and comfortable. These windows were especially popular before electric fans were invented. People loved how they allowed for ventilation without sacrificing style. Many transom windows featured beautiful designs, adding a touch of elegance to the entrance of a home. But as modern heating and cooling systems took over, transom windows slowly disappeared from new architecture. Today, they're mostly a thing of the past, though you might still see them in historic homes. They serve as a charming reminder of how people used to balance function and beauty in their living spaces. The Icebox refrigerator was the original version of our modern fridges, and it worked in a pretty clever way. This insulated box kept food cold by using a big block of ice placed at the top. As the ice melted, it cooled the air inside, helping to keep perishables fresh. Families would rely on regular deliveries from the Iceman to keep the icebox stocked, creating a unique routine. Popular in the early 20th century, iceboxes were often made of materials like tin and cork for insulation. They allowed families to store food for longer periods, which was a big deal back then. But as electric refrigerators became available, the need for iceboxes faded away. By the mid-20th century, most homes switched to electric models, making iceboxes a thing of the past. Today, they remind us of how people once kept their food cold before the convenience of modern refrigeration. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more of that history crack.